Big welcome from me here in Geneva to what is already the 23rd episode of our Innovation Circle series. We're very excited and very happy to see you join us online. We had our last episode actually yesterday, live from Karlstad, where we launched a playbook on ecosystem development. And indeed, a lot of the discussion was also about place-based innovation. So today we're especially excited to have sort of a follow-up discussion with concrete case examples. And we're very happy to be joined by our member, Alejandra Boni, who we've been engaged with, who will kindly moderate the session today. And also Stefanie and Christian, who have agreed to speak on their work. So I'm going to hand over the word to my colleague Anders for a few minutes, and then we can kick off with the session. So thank you again, and welcome to everyone. Anders, please go ahead.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel. I won't even take a few minutes because you said several of the things that I wanted to say, and I just wanted to convey that this nexus of place-based innovation and the idea of small-scale experimentation with things like innovation enhancing procurement at the local level, even municipal level, and sort of collating them and learning through them, and I think is one way where I think ETIN could work very well, and which I think is a good principle for transformative innovation policy. In general, you need to try out a lot of things and learn and embrace failure, and the best places to do so are often cities where you have more flexibility, you can get exemptions, you have more political accountability and will that you can build on. And I'm also interested in this whole tension between the ambitions of things like directionality or place-based innovation approaches like smart specialization and the practice, actually putting them into practice. And that's where the issues keep coming up. We looked into several smart specialization projects, for instance, and we noticed several issues that complicate things and do not lead to innovation, and could be framed in a much better and much more flexible way, and that often fall foul of the way the structures and the rules that are in place to fund projects, the steps that you have to go through, all of the criteria that you have to comply with and report on. All of these can make promoting and enabling transformative innovation from a governance perspective very difficult in practice. And I think that's an important point to pick up on and discuss, and use place-based innovation and small-scale experiments like the ones that we will hear about today from Mannheim, for instance. That's what I think is really important. And I wanted to mention one thing because, I forget who it was, but one of the points raised yesterday was that we were discussing a book developed in Sweden with Scandinavian examples, was that this is an approach that seems tailored to Scandinavia, to work in Scandinavia. That was not the intent, but there was a point to that. I'm from Sweden myself, although I haven't lived there very much, but I've seen the way what things can be done more flexibly there and what things cannot be done more flexibly. And it's not the same, obviously, in the rest of the world. So it's very appropriate that the next day we have a follow-up where we'll be talking about the broader range of experiments along this nature in specific places. And I look forward to the discussion and to the experts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anders. Now over to you, Sandra. Please go ahead.
Okay, let me share just my screen very briefly. Can you see my screen? Yeah? Well, this is an introduction on why we are here. Stephanie, Christian, and myself are all part of this Transformative Innovation Policy European Hub, which is like a big community of practice we would like to be big, but now we are a small group, but we would like to be big in the future, of practitioners, policymakers of different kind of administration, national, local, regional, and researchers, as me and Stefanie, working in transformative innovation policy. So the idea is working together, doing practical experimentation to have or to develop like a mutual learning, reflexivity, to learn more about the policy making and how, from the research perspective, we can work together with policymaker to work in transformative innovation policy at different levels. So that's our common interest, and it's a program, or well, it's an idea that came from two institutions. One is the Transformative Innovation Policy Consortium, TIPSI, which has been connected for more than 1 year, no, with the innovation efforts from UNICE. And the other institution is USPRI, which is a big group of research institutions all around Europe, also that want to research, develop innovation in broad terms. So bringing together USPRI and TIPSI, we funded this TRIP, the Transformative Innovation Policy European Hub, the TRIP Hub, and at the moment, Fraunhofer and the City of Mannheim are one of the couples of this European hub. They are working together in some experimentation, and now they will talk about that. Also, we in Spain, in Ingenio, we are working together with Catalonia, with the regional government of Catalonia. There are other couples in Austria as well, in Sweden, in UK. So it's an idea of building this community of practice and reflecting together, working together to learn and to develop transformative innovation policies all around Europe. That's more or less the umbrella and the idea of why we are here. So, having said that, I will ask some questions to Stefanie and Christian, and then we will have a moment for open questions and comments from the audience. So my first question for Stefanie. At the moment, we are working together in a project named Green Demo Project on green and just transition at local level. And I think it's interesting that you can explain something about the rationale behind the Green Demo Project and how we are thinking about the involvement of Mannheim and other cities in the project. I think this is nice to know something more about that. Stefanie?
Sure. Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm really glad that I can join here and that we can share today here our work in this quite new project that has just started. It's an EU-funded project, and yes, so it is indeed about sustainability transition at the local level. That is one of its main rationales. And I think, not only in this group, but I think it's already now wider acknowledged that really the local level is perhaps the most decisive level in this kind of multi-level endeavor of sustainability transition. So I think it's very, very important to turn to the local level and to see how we can work here and what is needed here to really empower the actors to work for sustainability transitions. And with the Green Demo, actually, we started a bit from a different angle, actually, because the call that we responded was a call on empowering public administration and on innovating in public administration. So this is the sort of the second rationale of the project, that we really team up with public administration. We've now 8 cities in this project gathered together who all are really, really doing great work already on sustainability transitions, and to see that, you know, in going the next step, in taking the next steps and really deepen their efforts, it's really needed that something has to change within the public administration, that they need kind of different collaborations within the administration as with local stakeholders, that they need to work differently and maybe even also shift mindsets and really approach things differently. And that is really exciting. So this is what we try to do with the cities. And then, you know, also there's kind of a third rationale coming into the project that is really important for us and also very, very timely. And this is the way how democracies are under pressure at the moment, and how we see that, democracies need to, on the one hand, try to bring in even more stakeholders, be more inclusive, be more transparent. So trying to really increase the accountability as of the work, but also on the other hand, really they need to deliver. They need to increase the output of what they're doing, basically. So they really need also to bring about those transitional changes that we try to achieve. So it's really kind of a big challenge that we have in the democracies. And also, like for sustainability, we thought with Green Demo, maybe it's also at the local level again, where things are being decided and where things can be decided, because here it is that we can really work on very targeted approaches and try to bring things together, and also try to build these local communities. And that's the basic idea of the Green Demo project. So it's a experimentation in 8 cities on such approaches, and then also the next step is to really embed those approaches, so not end with experimentation, but take the steps towards institutionalizing them and also sharing them with others, of course.
And also Green Demo has an emphasis on learning, no, mutual learning together, build this community practice between policymakers and researchers, no, which is the rationale also behind the European Hub. So for Christian, you are one of the demo cities, one of the main cities in the Green Demo. Could you tell a little bit about Mannheim and how Mannheim is engaged in the green transition? And, well, what challenges are you facing in your involvement in pushing this transition forward?
Yeah, thank you. First of all, inviting us and sharing our experiences, but also explaining a little bit more why we are engaged in several projects, in European projects, but especially here in Green Demo. Perhaps I have to step a little bit back, because Mannheim has, for about 15 years ago, made a big administration transformation process, which is very technical and usually nobody is interested in outside, and within the administration everybody is bored or scared. Why we did this? Our mayor said, for achieving a sustainable future for our citizens and being part of this global development of achieving the Agenda 2030, we need the best machinery in our administration to deliver the best for our citizens. And therefore, first of all, we were very early engaged in Agenda 2030 and in localizing the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And we were we were developing a city vision, Mannheim 2030, first of all with our citizens. It was a big participation process with about 2,500 people directly involved in workshops, about 10,000 in opinion polls, etc. And then we developed from the 17 development goals a vision Mannheim 2030, which is including also being climate neutral. And first of all, we want to make for our citizens the best sustainable future here, but we want also to contribute to the global level. And the first thing, to raise awareness that we are looking, okay, what we are doing here, what are we, or how are we affecting others? And this is not only a thing of CO2 emissions, it's also a thing, for instance, of fair trade. I mean, fair trade sometimes in Germany is discussed about buying fair chocolate or coffee, but when you're going into the cities, and then you're seeing that a lot of stones here in Germany are coming from Asia or South America. This thing of raising awareness and the thing of fair trade is becoming a thing of children works, making these stones and other things. And so we're saying, okay, what are we doing here? How we are affecting others? And we have to look and raise awareness for this. And in the best way, we are helping others to achieve their sustainable development goals. And so this was a big systematic change also within the administration, and we compared it, which is also technically, but it is necessary. We compared it together with the budget plan, and then we were renewing our budget plan so that it is contributing more to our vision Mannheim 2030. And one big challenge is here to be climate neutral till 2030. And we are part of the 100 climate neutral city missions. And so the Green Demo project is for us a big opportunity, first of all, to bring better results to our citizens and contribute also to the global level. And this with innovative new methods. And on the other hand, we see that in the last years in Mannheim, but also in other parts of Germany, the people are very skeptical to this green transition. They are saying, okay, what does it have to do with me? Is it really so bad? And we see that the populism is rising, which is giving these simple answers to complex questions. And so we say, okay, perhaps we can combine this to say how we can deliver better results for achieving the climate neutrality. And on the other hand, building trust in our society with our citizens, that we are saying you are part of the participation process to create new solutions. And this means involving them. And then we have a big challenge that we have a lot of people from several milieus which are not contributing for the last 10 or 15 years in any processes. And this is a problem for democracy, and it's challenging because we are losing these people. And so we said we also want to achieve the unachievables with these projects and combine this to say participation, bringing back trust, and deliver better solutions through innovative methods with the Fraunhofer Institute to say that we are achieving more together with our citizens and creating trust within the city, which is totally necessary for us as a city, but also we are believing for the European Union, because the European Union is so far away, and the thinking of the people about is it needful and how is it supporting us, it's a really political discussion, which is sometimes, it is like it is in political business, very unfair, and sometimes really going into niches of populism, which is then rising. And then we have effects that we are not able to have some evidence-based discussions, and we want to bring this back on the table. And so we are very thankful to be part of this project, and we hope to get solutions for this both topics within this project.
Thanks, Christian. Maybe apart from you say reaching the people that has been out of this transition is one of your problem or your challenges, and the populism, could you envisage more challenges in this green and democratic transition in the city of Mannheim?
To be climate neutral, we have several paths. We have an industrial path. We are in discussions with the energy sector, and they're doing their work. But we also have to make on the private path, we have to make a behavioral change, that people are living more CO2 neutral. And for some people, it's very easily to say, okay, I have an electric car, no problem. And for other people, it's very hard because first of all, they don't have the money. And on the other hand, sometimes they're not understanding why should I change something, everything is good, or what does it have to do with me? And we are losing these people, first of all, for the need of achieving the goal being climate neutral, because everybody has to change. On the other hand, we see that, I wouldn't say this kind of people, that we have groups which are not contributing in participation processes, and they are very easily captured by populistic ideas, so that they're saying there is no climate change, or you don't have to change, others have to change, and don't trust the government, don't trust the European Union, and they are telling you all this rubbish about climate change, etc., which is not true. And we have to fight against this, because we see that in some areas and milieux, this kind of thinking is rising. And so the people are also, when they are discussing and making their political decisions, they're making their political decisions more on populistic people faces, and where we're saying, okay, this cannot be the solution for our future, not reaching our goal. And on the other hand, we are losing the people. And this is very challenging, not only for us, also for other cities.
Yeah, Christian. And Stefanie, how do you see we can work together with Mannheim and the other cities in the Green Demo project to try to, to help them, to face those challenges and also learn ourselves about that? How do you see that?
Well, yeah, it's also a big learning process for us, I would say. So how we design it in Green Demo and how we approach it, I think it's two things basically. It's on the one hand kind of a very operational assistance that we try to offer and to try to organize a process, over this kind of a 3-year cycle that a research project funded by the European Union has. So we try to work with the cities on. Now, at the moment, we're working on work plans, and then we come into the implementation phase, and there will be also kind of a evaluation phase in the end, things like this. So this is one part, and the other part is what you mentioned at the beginning, Sandra, is this big learning exercise that we try to do. So that's really an important pillar here as well, where we try to open up just spaces, reflective spaces, which are quite undefined at the moment, because they shall be open, and we will see what kind of needs will be there to be looked at and to be reflected. And we know from other work with governments, obviously many of us, that what is needed often is this reflective space, because daily business and the operational tasks are so or create such a high workload that in particular this kind of reflection is really, really difficult to realize. So it's very important to have these spaces. And what we also see is that the project can offer a very good connection between, let's say, two levels of learning. So on the one hand, it's kind of these local communities that hopefully intensify by way of the project activities, and where this kind of local level learning happens and local level communities can build. And on the second, and on the other hand, it's this kind of translocal learning that we try to really bring to the project. And we try to have like various formats in the project where the cities can meet, can talk to each other, can visit each other, and can come into a joint learning, basically, because in the end it's all what the kind of changes that happen in the end often happen by way of interacting and by way of jointly learning. And also this is the reason why we appreciate so much also the TRIP European Hub being there, because this is just another layer of learning that we can utilize, where again other actors come into this kind of co-learning experience, and so we hope we can make this a mutual, effective learning exercise for everybody. But I have to say I'm quite excited. It's very open, and I've never done that at this kind of big level. So it's really something to learn from a lot in the next years.
Maybe we can tell to the audience which one are the cities involved in the Green Demo. It's Mannheim, of course, is Bristol.
Exactly, and then it's Aalborg in Denmark. Yeah, and then Aarhus as well. So we have 3 cities which we call the demo cities. This is Mannheim, Bristol, and Aalborg, and they are sort of really now ready for kind of a big step that they want to take. And then we have 5 cities which are also very advanced, and they are still like checking how big the step can be that they want to take. So these are called the fellow cities. And this is Aarhus in Denmark, this is Bamberg in Germany, it's Poznan in Poland, it's Schaerbeek in Belgium, and it's now it's Glasgow in the UK. So this is the 5 fellows, but they might do sort of smaller steps, but it's not quite decided. They are also like at the moment exploring how far they can go. What they might do in the project is really working on what we call the replication roadmap. So they will also really build on this learning that we offer in the project and might plan their changes rather for a step to be taken after this project. So they are at the moment in this kind of more planning stage.
Yeah. Before giving the floor to Lorna, let me ask Christian, what do you expect from this mutual learning with the other cities that are part of Green Demo and also us as a researcher? Which at the moment, because we are beginning, so we're just at the beginning of the project, what are your expectations in regards with our collaboration?
Yeah, hope good solutions. I mean, at the moment we have, I mean, on the one hand, Germany is still the 3rd biggest industrial nation in the world. On the other hand, cities are crucial for climate change. And we see that at the moment, a third of the German cities, also Mannheim, does not have a balanced budget. And we see this pressure is coming to themes like climate change, etc. because tax revenues are going down, the socially expenditures are rising, and so people get pressure on the green themes that they're saying we have other problems. And so on the one hand, I'm hoping we are getting innovative solutions for achieving our climate goals. Perhaps we are getting also adaptable solutions from other cities, Bristol or whatever, that they're saying, okay, we're doing this thing in mobility or in energy in this way, and then we are saying, oh, that's interesting, can we adopt it? And we are also looking for every time for evaluations, so that we are saying on these top researchers of Fraunhofer, they're not only innovative, but they also have the technical know-how, how to make evaluation, how to bring the best of it, how to make them evidence-based discussions, so that we can make the best of what we at the moment have, and achieving more together. And therefore we need the help of Fraunhofer and others who are guiding us.
Okay, thanks, Christian. Leonard, you want to please?
Sure, thanks, Sandra, and thanks again, Stefanie and Christian, for a very interesting talk. I have a question concerning the evaluation phase of the programme, and specifically evaluation that provides, accountability for the funding that's been provided. I'm wondering, in terms of you've highlighted the importance of learning, you've highlighted the importance of creating trust as foundations for this work. Do you by any chance use metrics in these areas, or if not, how do you assure your funders that trust is being built and learning is happening, and different types of different qualities of learning is happening? Thanks.
Should I take this question, Sandra?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that you might assist me, because actually you're talking to the right person, and I mean Sandra in this respect, because what we're using to sort of trace the learning is the transformative outcomes approach that was developed by Sandra and colleagues. You know that very well. So it's not a metric at all. It's a framework, but I think a very, let's say, approachable framework, and a very good one to be used. And that is one of our pillars in the in approaching the learnings. There is also more, let's say, indicator type or this descriptor type of of indicators that we have also along the path, because also we want to demonstrate, of course, changes in the climate neutrality goal, and also changes in terms of democratization as far as we can. So we try to trace, of course, what kind of activities are happening, what kind of how many people are involved, how diverse are the groups we can involve, can we reach groups which have not been reached before, and things like this. So we try to follow up on that as well.
I think the idea is to use the transformative outcomes, not to do like a meta analysis on how the projects evolve. Probably learning will be one of the main pillars, also because we have a community of practice, so we are going to to build something specific on learning, and maybe also we can focus on new networks, on new publics, so depend on the on what we're going to do in the next 3 years. Yes, Christian, please.
Yeah, at the end, it's like in football, only the goals are counting. And so at the end of the project, for us, it would be a success when the indicators are showing that we were successful. I mean, trying hard is not good enough. At the end, the trust has to be risen in the municipality from the cities, and due to the learning, we should have better results in achieving our climate neutrality goal. So at the end, the evaluation is key for us.
Mm-hmm. There is a question from the audience, from Fritz. It's about, can you expand on how the goals of the, I don't know if I pronounce rightly, light build are being monitored? Light build.
Yes, the Mannheim 2030 vision, and for each we transformed it, and we had then 7 strategic goals, from education justice to rising democracy and climate neutrality, and we are measuring this with about 55 top indicators. It's CO2 neutrality, but also are the people trusting the councillors, or how is the quality of the language when the people are going from kindergarten into school. At the moment, it's terrible. It's about 40%. And when we are projecting it to 2030, though we are ambitious, we still have 45% of young children who are coming to school and not speaking the German language. And this is for us a hint, and not only hint, but also in the political discussion, a big argument that we have to do, on the one hand, more, but it's not only about doing more, it's sometimes doing the things in another way. And there is not quantity counting, but quality. So we have really to say how from our measures and our indicators is then in the reflection becoming to new solutions. And we need new solutions because we cannot afford with our money and resources to tackle all these problems. And so we still have a compass every year where we are standing. In some cases we are good. For instance, in the youth unemployment at the moment 2.5%. In other things we are really not good, because we see that education justice is going down and down. But this is not a special Mannheim problem. It's in a lot of German cities where you have a very diverse community. We are at the moment have people from 170 nations living here, which is for us enriching. We are believing in this. On the other hand, we see it's challenging because in Germany still the education success and career is very dependent from the education career of the parents. And at the moment, we as a municipality don't have the successful measures to tackle this.
Okay, well, I don't think there are more questions, but in the meantime, I have a question for you, Christian. In our past engagement with other agencies in Sweden, with Vinnova, in other areas, in TIPSI, in the Transformative Innovation Policy Consortium, when we are doing experimentation, we can notice that people learn and understand, but how, or in this case, well, it's a reflection also for Green Demo, no? Beyond the people that are connected with the project, you, Christian, and other people from other governments, how we can embed the learning that you will achieve into the organization and not be only constrained to the particular group of people, because this is something that happened to us before in Sweden, in Vinnova. The experiment was good and we learned a lot, but we have some limits, no, in our engagement, and I think maybe something that in Green Demo we can reflect, how we can embed what we learn in the big organization, not only with the people that are participating directly with us. What do you think?
With industry, we like to share the knowledge to scale it up. So that's not only the technical group and the stakeholder.
Yeah, I mean, in Mannheim governments and in other people that are not...
Externally, we are a part of, I think, a dozen networks. For instance, me, I'm the chair of the Eurocity SDG task force, which is involving about 60 cities. Then we have a part of the 100 CNC network. Then we are in networks like Albrecht, etc. And there we always spread the knowledge, discussing how can this be shared so that others can adopt it or learn from it. I mean, not every time or seldomly it's directly adopted to other cities, but it gives you hints that you have another way of thinking to find your own solution for your cities. And we are presenting this in this network. We are also going on congresses, or we are invited to congresses like OECD Urban Days, World Urban Forum, etc. So we spread a lot of knowledge, but we are also challenging us with this spreading, not only saying we're doing this way, so we want also to hear from the others what we could do better. And we have a lot of good feedback from other cities that they are saying, oh, this was very helpful. And for us, it's also enriching to get in touch with others. And so it's, I wouldn't say it's the DNA of Mannheim, but sharing knowledge, it's crucial for us.
Sandra, you're muted.
Sorry. Sorry. I think we have the trip you have, this umbrella that also we can use to spread the knowledge on what we are. But in terms of the project, how do you see we can focus in this particular question of embedding, the learning into the organization that are part of the project and beyond?
I mean, we have networks, and now we are within this network. And then we have to see how we can share this knowledge best. Sometimes it's spreading, like spreading in a garden when you rain it, and sometimes you directly spreading the knowledge to interesting cities. And so I think we have to see within this project how we can spread the things we are achieving here best with others. But I think this will be also part of the process. We have our networks and systems where we can automatically bring it in, as I told, Albrecht, Eurocities, etc. PP. But also, I think within this network, we will see through the Trip Hub or others, is there another or a better way for this typical project? I mean, where are we engaged? Are we on congresses? Do we make own congress or a network meeting or whatever? I think this will be developed within the project.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. Yeah, something happened with my connection. But okay, no. But my question was also for you, Stefanie, about this theme particularly.
I think this was also a question that puzzled us already when we set up the proposal, and I know that many of our city teams at the moment in the project are actually representing more than one organizational unit, for example. Also, this is the case for Mannheim, of course, because you're also already in with more than one unit. And if I remember correctly, all of the cities have this kind of ambition to improve the linkages within the organization as part of the project. So the activities that they plan are by nature activities that they cannot do just within their own organizational unit, because they seek to have, they need to have a mandate from a higher level, and they also need to have the other units on board, because there's shared responsibility for these kind of climate neutrality topics often. And also, if you think of some cities linking these kind of topics to the smart city ambitions and things like this, so they have to bring in different units, and so this is what they do. This is kind of bridge building in the project, and that is certainly a very helpful lever. And what we try to do at the moment with the cities is to map that a little bit. So we really are going into the dialogue with the cities now and see who is involved at your end, and you need to be involved throughout the course of the project to make this happen. And obviously also then who need to be involved in the end, to spread the word about this. So it is part of what we try to map and what we try to address. And yeah, let's see, I think there's also obviously some knowledge, hopefully, on institutionalization and learning from other examples that we will still hopefully integrate into the project, and that we can also use just learning from other examples.
Mm-hmm. Okay, are there more questions from the audience, or maybe something that you would like to know about the experience of Mannheim, these localized green transitions? Yeah. Let me see. Example of measuring Christian, voluntary local review.
For example of the voluntary review, just to show to Fritz and others, we want to measure us, and we don't feel it as a burden, because every monitoring is giving us new results and new information about how we can achieve our goals better. So I wouldn't say we are addicted to numbers and indicators, but we use them, because without, in my opinion, you're lost. And so it's very usual for us that we use indicator in this classical management circle of plan, do, check, act, that we're saying, okay, how we know that we are successful. And so very early, we were really looking for indicators for seeing how successful we are with our Mannheim Vision 2030. And also within this Green Demo project, we will together look for indicators with Fraunhofer, where at the end we are seeing we were successful for us, but also for others.
Mm-hmm. There is a question from Emily. It's saying, I'm curious if the green demos are somehow connected to the mission cities and net zero cities.
Yeah, they are, Emily. Yes, that was part of the selection process. So we have ICLEI, the cities network, as part of a partner, or as a partner in the project, and they helped us with approaching the European mission cities. And so basically we have now a subsample of the mission cities in the project, and and this is also, I think, a very good sort of network, and a very good kind of sphere where we also will obviously try to disseminate our results and share our learnings with.
Mm-hmm. Maybe can I have a question for you, Emanuela, and people connected with the network? How do you see that the kind of things that we want to do together in the Green Demo local level can be useful for other levels of governance? Because mainly you work with national governments. That's the kind of approach. So do you think that this kind of debates and actions and reflection could be useful for other government levels?
Thanks, Sandra. This is definitely a first that the question is posed to us in this innovation circle. So thank you very much for that. Indeed, I think it would be very helpful to contribute to sort of the creating awareness of the challenges on the ground that we face. So very often when we talk to different types of stakeholders, we see sometimes silos emerging. There's a disconnect And what we hope to do, especially when looking at on-the-ground case examples, is to help policymakers gain a better understanding of the actual needs when it comes to implementing, because we see there's a lot of initiatives, there's a lot of ambitions to accelerate sustainable transformations, but then when it comes to really, what are on-the-ground issues, especially when we look at different contexts, right? So, I mean, we work not only with Western European economies, but also with Eastern economies in Central Asia. So there we really hope to extract these insights and help them sort of identify the challenges and opportunities. Also, what concrete aspects they should take into account when setting up their own plans, setting up their own budgets, and way forward in accelerating transformations.
Mm-hmm. So we will keep posted about our learnings and our activities in the Green Demo and also in the Trip European Hub. Any other questions or curiosities, or even you, Stefanie, and Christian? Any other ideas, comments?
Yes, Emily, thank you for the link. We'll definitely follow up anyway. And just to share, I have to make a small correction. The cities are either mission cities or active under the Intelligent Cities Challenge. So there's kind of two inroads with cities in the project. Very good. So in Sweden, it's called Assistant Demonstrators. Thanks for that link, Emily.
Mm-hmm. Also, the idea of Green Demo is picking different traditions, no, in cities. No, some
the public administration traditions. Yeah, that was one of the. That was one or a second important criterion for selecting the cities, that we try to reflect on different administrative traditions. So we have the British Anglo-Saxon tradition, Scandinavian tradition, the more continental tradition with the German cities, and also this kind of what is called the Napoleonic tradition with Schaerbeek, and also an Eastern European tradition or Eastern European country on board. Yeah.
Okay, from my side, it's okay. If there are no more questions from the audience, just thanks Christian and Stefanie and you, Emanuela, for organizing this meeting and this.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandra, to you for moderating this discussion. Both of you, thank you, Christian and Stefanie. We're very interested in following your development. So we look forward to any updates on your side. Now, before we close the session, I just wanted to introduce our little game segment that most of our viewers are familiar with, just to get to know Christian and Stefanie a little bit better. So to do that, I would kindly ask my colleague Anders to show the statements of Stefanie. So the game that we play is called Two Lies and One Truth, which is where we ask our speakers to share with us 3 statements, and then it's up to our participants to guess which is the true statement about our speaker. So Anders, if you could maybe share the slide of Stefanie, and then I will launch the poll.
Yes, just 1 second. I'm pulling it up in a rush. I wasn't quite prepared. So give me a second. I'm going through for Stefanie.
Yes.
Yes, this should be it.
Okay, so exactly. So Stefanie provided us with these 3 statements. The first one is, I once started a travel blog that was just about finding the best places to take a nap in different cities. The second, I organized community events during the coronavirus pandemic and received an award for it. And the third, I lived in a monastery for a month to find my love for silence and learned how to meditate with a tennis ball. All of these would be extremely interesting if they were true. So I'd invite everyone to vote which they think is true, and then we look forward also to hearing which one is the correct one. Okay, so it seems that The one with the monastery is gaining, and no one really believes the travel blog, Stephanie. So I think the other two are a little bit more popular.
Yeah, they might be quick. They might have checked, just by Googling it or so.
Exactly. Nowadays, it's quite easy to look up. So okay, I think it's a tie between organizing community events and living in a monastery. Please tell us which is true.
Yes, so in fact, it's the community events during the coronavirus pandemic, and actually the prize was not for organizing a community event. I have to tell you, what we actually did was that we started collecting trash in the neighborhood and on the lawns and the fields around us, and we sort of did this as a concerted action with the neighborhood. So we arranged for certain time slots every time a week to do that and to see each other. We kept the distance, obviously the distance rules, but we went together and tried to clean up all the trash that was really massively now in the neighborhood everywhere. And so the prize in the end was an environmental prize for cleaning the neighborhood, not for doing a community kind of thing during the pandemic and during the lockdown. But it was a very helpful thing and also very important thing for us to somehow keep connected, obviously. But I also have to say I also love the other two very much. And I think I should start this kind of travel blog thing. That sounds really a nice ambition.
If you do, please share it with us. I would be very interested in following such a travel blog.
Absolutely.
And congrats on the initiative. I mean, it's great that you managed to bring people together, but also help clean up the community as well. So congrats on that, and thank you again for sharing that with us. So now we turn to Christian. Anders, if you could pull up Christian's statements.
Yes, I will put it. I'll put it up. And very interesting story, because the first thing that came to mind was an award for flouting lockdown regulations and arranging community events, and then receiving congratulations for it. One thing that comes to mind is that maybe we could do this also in the format of the British game show Would I Lie to You, where someone simply has to defend something which is false as true and the other way around. That could be very interesting. So I found Christian now, and I'm putting that one up as well.
Exactly. So Christian's statements. He worked as a DJ for 10 years. He's addicted to rhubarb, and he is the only one in his office who wears a tie. Also, 3 very interesting statements. So I'd invite everyone to submit their vote. And we'll wait a couple of seconds for the votes to come in. It seems that the addiction to rhubarb is the most believable here. Christian, please tell us which one is true.
I hate rhubarb. No, really. I eat almost everything, and where I am, I always try new things. But I don't know why. Since I'm young, I don't like rhubarb. No? The true thing is, I really worked for about 10 years or a little bit more as a teacher for financing my study. And exceptionally, in exceptional cases, I do this for charity events sometimes once a year. And I liked it, but the thing is, in the 90s or late 80s, you were earning not so much money as the DJs are earning nowadays. There are honorars which are really great, and so if I'd done this further, I wouldn't be here. I would be honest, but it is like it is. So I'm contributing to the public value of the work.
Excellent. Do you have a DJ name that you can share with us? Maybe some of us would like to listen into some of your creations.
It's very simple, Chris.
Easy to remember.
Yeah. I can send you a playlist.
Yes, please,
Stefanie,
Sandra.
Yeah, no, just to tell Stefanie, because we are organizing our next event in Karlsruhe in a couple of months, so maybe we can introduce like a DJ session at some point with Christian. That would be great.
Sounds very attractive. Yeah.
Great. So whoever happens to be in Mannheim and is in need of a DJ, maybe you could reach out to Christian. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much again for participating in this game segment, but also for joining our episode today. It was a pleasure seeing you online. Thank you very much for the insights, questions, and feedback. We'll be uploading the recording of this session soon, so whoever missed it can rewatch it. And we very much look forward to seeing you at our next Innovation Circle episode. If you'd like to stay up to date, please follow us on LinkedIn. And if any questions, comments, I'm also available via email. So thank you very much. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.